All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Where did we leave off? Think we were going crazy on Scrapyard, right? Yes. All right, where's the dog? Hold on. Unplayable. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, like say boo-boo. Let's do some gunhead. Hey, Captain. All right. What gun do I feel like today? Should we just do stock gun day? That sounds fun. Let's do stock gun day. And let's start with the stock scar. Maybe we don't play gunhead. Hold on. Let's go over to old man. Let's actually ignore that there's modifications in the game. Let's just do all stock guns. That's interesting. And probably very painful. Not surplus. Michael, get out of here. We're not doing surplus runs. They fixed the bug, Michael. Surplus is back to F tier. But still, slightly better than the VKS. Because the VKS is god-awful. There's no way we're loading this thing that many times. Though I will bring some stuff for the surplus shotgun. I've said this before, Rocket, but like the way I think they should balance the ammo economy is that you make the conventional rounds the military uses. So like say for example, like the base round for most Europa forces is 50 caliber, the base round for most of Eurasia is 5.7, and the base round for Eruska we'll ignore that for now. But you make these base rounds have like downsides, right? Like for example, both 5.7 and the 50 cal can't be silenced. And so like you can find plenty of 50 cal, you can find plenty of 5.7, but it's a round that might not be useful to you because you can't silence it. But then you start having these more niche rounds, like, you know, let's say 54R, subsonic, so in there, like actually give you access to interesting guns, but they have worse ammo economy, right? They don't have a lot of rounds in the field. So like in a way you kind of like, you let the people who really want to play an aggressive style do so, but they kind of have to either stock up on ammo for a lot of time for the specialist rounds, or just be okay with going for an unsilenced sort of run with like a SCAR or 5.7mm gun. So in a way it kind of caters to both playstyles, right? I mean, we're not trying to do IRL though. I mean, 5.7, the reason why it's so high priced is it's not mass produced, right? I imagine 5.7 should be pretty cheap. Well, the conventional just like ball ammo for 5.7 would be pretty cheap if they just mass produced it. But like, it's a niche round, right, in the markets, that's why it's just so expensive. It's not enough guns use it, and not enough people buy it. Yeah, and like, I usually try to frame it like that, to your Rocket, in the sense of like, framing certain things in a way where like, it doesn't just lock off an entire section of the player base. I think there's a lot of design choices they can do that kind of play to both. I actually, Captain, I do like the aesthetic of the default rig quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, Rocket, public test servers are nice. Wait, this is not Mesa. God damn it. Time to leave. Yeah, like, public test servers are nice, but like it's very important to keep in mind like the actual size of their team, right? They're like less than 50 people, and then like having to do public test branches and then manage it and then deal with like, you know, users on the public test server. It's just a lot. I mean, they could certainly do it, but like it would absolutely pull resources away from development, right? Hey, no, stop that. I thought, oh yeah, MP7 is 5. No, MP7 is 4.6, isn't it? I think MP6 is 4.6. MP6 is, I mean, sorry, MP7 is like even a weirder round, right? I think an MP7 is 4.6 millimeter. It's even it's even more 5.7 than the 5.7 round. Really small, really fast.
Look for gaps. Maybe we can slip past.
Well, it's more of this, right? Like, so, hey Pat, when you have you have 3 branches, right? At that point, you have the live branch, you have the beta branch or the PTS branch, and then you have the dev branch. And at that point, right, if you're like, say, you know, let's say for example they're like a 20-person dev team, right? You're having to shift through feedback on the live branch, you're having to shift through feedback on the beta branch, you're having to shift through feedback from your own QA testers. And when like it doesn't seem like they don't have a CM anymore, right? So like they're having to, like, them with their own time go through and start looking through feedback, or have someone like condense feedback for them from the Discord server. So it just adds a lot of, like, it might not be overly complex on their part, but like it does add a lot, right? The most you might ever see, Rocket, in that regard is like back when I was doing work with Shiro for a bit on Dune Spice Wars. Like usually like a month or a month and a half, or like about a month before they would release a patch. Wait, where's I going? Over here, exit. They would put out a beta branch for us to test, but like once they push out that beta branch, the only things they would fix would be like really critical bugs. They were just looking for mainly feedback on like high-level things, and we do QA testing too, right, for them, but like we wouldn't really see the fruits of our labor until they hit live. Just because, right, like it's just extra effort and time and headspace to manage a test branch like that. It also, I will say too, if they're trying to keep like the surprises hidden, a public test server like that, when it's not carefully controlled, can be a sieve. It just lets out information. All right, hold on. Let's go over to Mesa, the right map. I mean, if what you're saying is that you want a public test server because you can't find reasons why it wouldn't work, or you can't find the downsides. The downsides is time and thought, right? And focus. Like, it just adding one extra little thing to the pile of having to keep in your headspace can be distracting. Trust me, like, think of it this way too, right? When you're like, hey Bush, think of it this way too. So, when I did like basically, not software development, but application development essentially, you kind of get into a headspace when you're developing, and like, or coding, or just doing anything tech-wise. I guess really anything in general, right? Could be like woodworking too. Any distractions from that kind of pulls you away, right? And like, it resets you. So for example, like, I really disliked it when we didn't have scheduled meetings and we just had impromptu calls with my like superior slash coworker. because I would get into a headspace and get into a vibe like doing work. He would just randomly call me in 3 hours into my work schedule or 3 hours into like my work kind of, you know, view, and it would entirely like reset me, right? Because it was a distraction, and the distraction might only like take like a minute or two, right? But that's enough to just knock me off balance. Thanks, Butch, appreciate it. Star Citizen does, but it's a bit different, Game Shift, when you are talking about a company with 1,000+ employees to a company that might have 20. In a perfect world, I like it. Game Shift, it kind of goes into the whole like thing, right? If it was a perfect world and like Fundog had endless resources and money, sure, yeah, why not have a public test server? But it's just public test server, public test branch, so on and so forth, right? In a perfect world, like if you could make sure you had a perfect closed test branch where the users wouldn't leak information and that it didn't really take any of your extra time or resources, then yeah, why not? But it's unfortunately just not the case. And I'm not saying it's like not Herculean in the efforts, but like it does require thoughts and time and, you know, resources and headspace. It is, yeah, it is genuinely so very easy to slip out of a train of thought. And like when you're trying to deal with complex issues, it's so easy for you to lose that complex train. Like it literally got to the point where my like superior slash coworker, or I guess my senior, was like, I literally had to sit down and just tell him and be like, hey, I need like 2 to 3 months to handle this. Just let me handle it. Don't like micromanage me. Don't like talk to me about things about this. Just let me deal with it and I will solve it. And it was so nice because he did just step back and let me do it, and it was the most peaceful, productive 2 to 3 months of my life ever. I got so much shit done in 2 to 3 months from just being able to like focus and work on something and not be distracted by endless like daily calls. What is going on here, Mr. Mech? Stop pushing the T90s. You absolute fiends. Well, Rocket, in a way though, like we are almost kind of the test branch right now on live. Because they're pushing out content on a monthly basis, we are getting content here that is pretty raw, right? And underbaked and just not like fully realized. So if that's your perspective, I would almost say that we're the test branch. Like live is the test branch. There's not really a whole lot extra they can show you. Like they could give you a patch. Well, think of it this way too. They did do kind of what you're describing, Rocket Dog, for the March patch, but like between the public test or the testing side or the private test of the the private test of the March patch, like between that and the actual release, basically nothing changed except for like major game breakers. So like we kind of had like almost like a test branch for a very brief time with the March patch, but like it never really, it was only like a week or two before actual release, and it didn't, and it had to bug fixes, right? They fixed big bugs that were like happening in the patch, but it like nothing like design wise got changed. What the hell was that? Cyborg? Why are you so noisy? What are you hitting? Oh, he's murdering a...
Look for gaps.
All right, we're good.
Slip past.
Yeah, I mean, considering the current balance of guns, the Scar just makes so much sense for Europa. Wait, what? I mean, Bob, that's fair. Yeah, everyone goes through like lulls of motivation, right? That's just pretty par for the course.
Pick your targets. Make every shot count.
John, I have no idea. They have like in a Q&A, right? They said they did like my content, which I appreciate. So I imagine they watch some of it. I have no idea what they watch and don't watch though. Considering I stream like 3 days a week on this game only practically, I imagine they've probably seen a few things here and there. But the exact extent, I have no idea. I almost in a way, they have kind of said from some of their Q&As that like they do use some of those as outlets for like when they're feeling kind of burnouty. So like say for example, like from what I've understood from like their Q&As, right? They'll work on some actual stuff for the game for like say 5, 6 hours, Rocket. And then like that cinematic trailer for the video or for the patch will be kind of their outlet or their break, right? Something that's not directly game related but still tangentially so. Is that the right word for that? So like in a way, the extra kind of fluffy stuff like we're seeing like on the videos, I kind of think are like is their outlet for just kind of breaks while still remaining relevant to the game. No. Haha. Nope. I win. Hey Vinny, how's it going? Thanks Vinny, appreciate it. I don't game shift, I do not eat when I'm gaming. Sorry, let me rephrase. I don't eat when I'm streaming. That also, I usually don't eat when I'm gaming either. If I'm having a meal or like if I'm gonna go watch, like I'll have a meal while watching something. I will never like game and eat at the same time. Man, I will say though, these fucking scramblers, they are resistant. I will go ahead and say too, thanks for Vinny, there is a Discord now. You can do exclamation Discord or look at the description below for the YouTube video if you'd like to join the Discord. It's still very new, but it's fledging.
Maybe we can slip past.
Alright, I have HKs now. All things considered, I mean, like, the 8-round Scar does, I think, it does feel good, right? I kind of feel like the VKS almost needs to be this level of damage to ever feel useful with only 5 rounds. It has been fixed. So essentially, it's like back to the way it was before this patch. So it's like 2 to 3 shells per Cyborg. So with like a Vepr or AA-12, you can tear through them again.
Work our way through.
Scramblers, no scrambling. Mantling, no. I will say, the downside though is scramblers and cyborg thralls that do not, or cyborg crawlers that don't have hitboxes, absolutely terrifying. I do have a shotgun for that actually. I forgot about the shotgun. I think if you go back, Roofer, to like some very early marketing videos, you'll see occasionally pictures of downtown and maybe Shantytown. Yeah, I guess that, so so like Scar for the regular Cyborg and then Shotgun for... Oh no. What are you doing here? Yeah, it's not a HK though. It'd be shooting me already if it was. Hey, Y7. Feeling pretty good. No, 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 no. The world's slowest reload. Hold on, I'm surfing. Wait, what the hell? I'm so dead. Run. Unfortunately, Vinny, the command itself is broken on YouTube, so in the description below of the video itself, the stream itself. Hold on, let me just plug it into Twitch chat or YouTube chat real quick. And I can just like be copied and pasted over and over again. No, leave me alone. Okay. Where was I? There we go. Yeah, I don't know what people use for YouTube chat bots, but it doesn't seem to work. I probably need to give them like mod permissions, but I don't want to just like... I'll need to figure out how to link it. I'll do it later. The famous last words of everyone, I'll do it later. I'm on meds. Okay, we're still kind of good. Correct, Y7. It's actually my OnlyFans Discord. What does OnlyFans look like in fucking in the Forever Winter? It's all just Mother Courages. Let me up. Yo, Vinny, that's great. Only courage. It's that's fantastic. And I'm sure plenty of you degenerates would be. Wait, that's moving really fast. I don't like that. What HK did I get? Oh god. I think we can all tell what that is. I'm so very scared. I was killing your opens. Why does it hate me? Excuse me, pardon me. I need to get a safety bridge. Alright, thankfully, I guess there are retreats now to bunker. So they in the patch notes, right, the hotfix patch, they apparently added more like locations for the grabber and for the commander to like go chill at when they can't path to you. Essentially, it seems like the way they're kind of hoping to deal with it for temporarily for right now is that they essentially hide the commander off screen and they hide the grabber off screen when they can't path to you, which I think is a fair compromise, right?
Pick your targets.
Just hide the unit while like they bug out, so it doesn't break immersion. I do, by the way, I do think they need to figure out some way of like letting you swap guns or sprint or just cancel reload animations. It's so bad. was shooting me? I heard a drone. Man, I will say, okay, it would never happen in this game, John, but stuff like that. So, all right, bear with me here, because I'm going to be referencing Star Citizen. Now, unlike this game where I don't think IRL timers should exist, when you have an online game that has like a giant economy like Star Citizen, or it allegedly is going to have, it doesn't have one right now, like the cost of time is relatively important for balancing. And like, so right now it's very placeholdery, but they have said they want to like make travel actually pretty slow when you're quantuming, or basically traveling between planets and systems. So like there is actually like a literal cost to the time spent moving things from point A to point B. So like that's all fine and well, but they kind of need to make sure they add in downtime activities, like essentially mini games or things that keep your attention in the game while you're like in this travel time, right? Because right now there's nothing yet. And so like having some form of like John, like what John was saying, like actual like mini games involving like websites or just like lore stuff in the game. There's not currently anything Game Shift, right? So like that's an area where they probably need to explore mini games and other ways of just like monetizing your time, or just rewards for downtime activities, right? Almost like all most D&D games have. Because here's the problem, right? You could just say, why don't they just walk away from the machine? The problem is because you can get interdicted. Essentially, people can pull you out of quantum and pirate you. And that while that's rare, it is a small little chance that it happens, right? And so like you need to find a way of keeping players engaged inside the game and not having them just all tab, right? So things like mini games, things like, you know, keeping your attention, things like small little strategy in games inside your games, like ARGs, yeah. And like those little small things too add lots of flair and fluff to your game, because no one's expecting a complete game with those. They're just expecting some like an attention grabber, right? Or attention, the thing to like sink your attention into while you're waiting for other things to happen. And while like naturally not a fan of the IRL timer in this game, when you're using it as an avenue to balance an economy in a massive multiplayer game like Star Citizen, it makes a lot of sense. Because you're trying to balance like, you know, the whole thing. And like, here's the thing too, right? John, yes, 100% yes. It might become a job to some, but like, it's kind of, some people do enjoy, for example, like those trucking games are big, right? People will, I've always heard the anecdote, right? Of like, truckers will come home or go back to their truck and then just start playing a truck game inside of their truck. Or like, they're just driving from point A to point B, but that's like, that's what they enjoy, right? They enjoy the journey from point A to point B. Honestly, they could do a minigame in Quantum too, right? Like, as opposed to a minigame necessarily in, like, outside of Locomotion, they could add, like, a small minigame inside Locomotion to give you rewards for, like, engaging with it. Now, the problem with that, right, is the botting. Like, if you kind of make a system like that, people might bot it, but that's always going to be a given. The Immaterium. Michael. Oh no. Alright, let's go over to an AK. Rutrow. Things just got so very dangerous so very quickly. But no, I really do quite genuinely enjoy this game's little minigame so far, so I'm curious if they can ever explore things like that also. We'll break 3 more. Alright, we have that, we have that. What else are we looking for? Swamp? We just did swamp. Well, we didn't really do swamp, we ran through swamp. We We can do a Scorched Enclave. I imagine the Scorched is gonna feel terrible with default guns. But I guess we'll find out. Alright, all good. Wait, this is not why? Why did I do this to myself again? This is not Scorched Enclave. This is the second time I've done this to myself. Wake up. Choose the map before you enter. I do think, Michael, that it's early right now. I do think they're having Star Citizens having issues realizing that you just can't have crew members for crew members' sake. Like, you need to actually give them jobs that, like, a pilot can't micromanage because of the sheer volume of attention, right? So, like, for example, right now, on, like, one of the, like, larger ships, the Polaris, there is essentially, like, a torpedo officer. But, like, the problem with the torpedo officer, right, is outside of just clicking, like, aiming and clicking a mouse 1, they don't do anything else, right? So, like, that's not a role that is sufficient for a player's attention, right? You have to make the job that they're doing require enough bandwidth to, like, warrant an entire person. Like, you need to give them a game. And that's kind of how you, like, and the things, like that essentially, the way I view crew combat, right, in games like that is, it's not just some arbitrary restriction on who can do X, Y, or Z. It's like the actual throughput issue, right? Like, a single person does not have enough ability to micromanage everything to actually be able to handle all of the systems. Like, like, it's not multi-crew because of some arbitrary forced requirement. It's multi-crew because, like, literally the amount of things you need to do is beyond the ability of one person to do them. Bob. We were memeing on the Discord, right? And just like, yeah, everything just invites a 40k modification into it, right? Even like, I think Arma 2 back in the day had a like 40k mod, and it was like super janky, right? But like, when you're a 40k enthusiast, you generally just usually do not give a shit. You just want 40j injected into everything. I think there was like a, what was it? Was it a TF2? There was some weird mod for like Source games too that like added like a weird like multiplayer PvP like Space Marine versus Chaos Space Marine mode. It was super jank though. I never think it actually got released. But it was like it was back during the era too of like when 40k just had no good like shooter games. So like everyone was so fucking thirsty. Like, there was a real, before Total Warhammer 1, like, or sorry, before, like, Warhammer, Total War 2, right? There was such a long drought of, like, decent to good 40k games, or just Warhammer games in general. I don't know, the game I'm thinking of was like so fucking janky. I'm not sure if it ever got released, or was it, I can't remember if it was like a mod or some like standalone game. But it was like, had no players at all. It was like me and a friend just fucking around. We're like, ooh, 40k. I don't think it was called that. I remember, all I remember is like some like really large, like desertish map with like a stronghold on one side. It was real jank. Was it a natural, it might have been a natural selection mod, baby. That rings some bells, perhaps. I did play a lot of natural selection back in the day with mod, 40k. Or sorry, natural selection back in the day. Man. The vibes of natural selection 1 were immaculate. Actually, what am I? You guys are stuck up there. Have fun. It did not. No. Natural Selection 2 suffered from just like... I think it just had issues overall, right? They'd made their own engine. And I actually fucked around with their map editor for quite some time, too. But no, like, yeah, Natural Selection 2 just didn't have the same, like, love as Source. The whole, like, creep mechanic in Natural Selection 2 was so cool, too. I think the big factor, too, right? The movement and, like, how you kind of moved units for the aliens in Natural Selection, I don't think was as good as 1. I remember, like, in 1... Natural Selection 1, it just felt so intuitive and right how the aliens moved. Just something, I think, if I recall correctly, right, something didn't just feel right with some of the units in Natural Selection 2. This is me, like, recalling from very old memories, though, so I could be wrong, but it felt different. There was a lot more friction moving around the maps of 2. I actually, probably in a way, right? I do recall, like, the mapping scene for that game, and, like, the maps were fairly complex geometry-wise, so I wonder if that was ultimately a bad thing, because in a way, in a game that's kind of competitive like that, you want the maps to probably be pretty simple, right, in regards to geometry. It's a fine balance between immersion / like, making sure locomotion is fluid, right? Nothing's more frustrating than a PvP game getting stuck on something. All right. Scorched Enclave. I mean, I think that's gonna be Silica, right, Blaze? I don't... Unknown Worlds is currently doing Subnautica 2 right now, so, like, I think Silica is probably, I guess, the next thing coming, or it's already out in early access. It's very few and far between that we actually see, like, a full-fledged, like, FPS RTS hybrid. That should be fine. Alright. Yep, that should be good. Oh, I need meds. They do always die. It's a very niche market, and like every competitor always steals a few people from a very small market. I will say though, that's very true, Blaze. Hell Let Loose has the exact same issue, that because so much of like the actual gameplay of like commanders and squads and so on and so forth requires a commander who wants to command, that is always an issue, right? Like Hell Let Loose has the exact same issue. But like actually, Hell Let Loose in a way is an RTS / FPS hybrid, though it leans a lot more into the FPS. My god. There we go. I've always heard too, for example, that for like Hell Let Loose, the actual like RTS elements are insanely broken once you know how they work. Not the stream. I mean, I have, not the stream though. They're not very hard to kill. There you are. Alright, keep going, Toothy. Did you just... Did I just kill it by running into it?
I knew I'd find you again.
That's nice. You had two that guys join you. Alright, so I wonder where Pyro is. Pyro's either down here or he's dead over here. Actually. I heard, sir, that you have a throat to cut. Sir, hold on. Slow down. Sir?
Let's see what they have before we shoot.
Sir, hold, slow down, sir. No, don't turn around. I said don't turn around. No, hey. Going on, game shift. Right now we're kind of just in the waiting phase. Like everything, like at this point everything's like prepped up. Now it's just kind of like the waiting for the day.
Don't get boxed in. Spread out.
That is true, Vinny. Sorry, Vinny, KFC. Like, yeah, like the first like getting to the pack mule or like the equipment runner right is the big first step in progression. And like after that, it's all a breeze. All right, Pyro.
Might is too heavy.
Yeah, not over there. What number are you? 1, 2, or 3? I'm getting so very lucky today with these. Generally no. I just they just don't go with everything else. They get special treatment. They go in my car as opposed to moving truck.
Heavy movement ahead. Stick to the corner.
That poor EXO. Sir, go away. Hey, hey, hey! What the hell? And just for that, die drones die. Hold on. Alright, I feel happy now. I'm running a 3080. I think it's like a tough gaming 3080. It's 10 gigs. It's been good for me so far. Like I've had no issues with it at all. I can overclock it too pretty heavily. Like it overclocks pretty well. But generally, none of the games I run really require the extra FPS from overclocking. So I just don't run it on overclock. And naturally, it'll OC itself, right? But like, I can get more juice out of it if I really want to, but it's not necessary. No, Blaze, this is Lumen. RTX is always on. Sir? Alright, this is probably 3 then. Let's go over to 2. Michael, why what? Why I don't OC it? Because heat's the death of it, everything. Like, even if it's a stable OC, right, the extra heat does, you know, eventually, like... The extra heat will eventually damage it. Oh, why OC? Yeah, there's not much reason to. Like, I could get more, I get more frames when I have it OC'd, but not to the point where I feel like it's worth it. Especially considering the power draw, too.
Maybe we can slip past.
I have flipped the breaker for this room a few times. I think it's very rare, but like, it's the first of like it's the first time I've ever had a flipper break from my computer. It feels like it's only happened twice in like 3 years though, so it's very seldom. Yeah, 100%. Save some power, save some lifespan. Keep the card nice and young forever. Considering like NVIDIA and to some extent AMD, especially NVIDIA, right, are like pushing for like fake frames. Like part of it's probably laziness, right? But part of it's probably because they are like actually reaching like, you know, Moore's law is dead. It is getting harder to get more and more performance out of cards for right now, so cheating it is the best way. Essentially what I'm saying is I do think cards are going to plateau a bit, so like older cards will be worth more for longer. I do think right now there's kind of a plateau with UE5 with older cards, but I think as people catch up, they'll be good for a long while. I'm hoping I am, at least. With my 3080, I do not want to buy a new GPU anytime soon. If I can wait for like the 6 or 7 series for NVIDIA, I would be very happy. Or whatever AMD's offering at the time. Oh. just immediately eats shit and dies. You poor soul. I really need to bring I am the worst about bringing drills in. This is why I want a hand drill. So I can just like put my hand drill in my offhand and then drill into rigs manually or drill into containers manually. All right, Opals. Hey, stop that. Oh, that's nice, John. It's a nice little perk. I imagine it's a bug, but it's a nice little perk to have right now. Yeah, Blaze, 100%, yeah. NVIDIA is like absolutely allergic to giving out proper amounts of VRAM, considering how every game is so hungry for VRAM now. Hey. No. Man, they're so tanky to 556. It is like basically criminal, like how little VRAM they give you nowadays and how hungry games are for them. %, yeah. Well, actually, I don't have any problem with the UE5 on 10. Though I'm curious, like, what level of pop-in I'm experienced. Like, so Stalker 2, I haven't played it in a while, but at launch I got a lot of pop-in. I wonder how much of that is just because I don't have enough VRAM to, like, actually store everything. And so, like, that's almost in a way forcing the pop-in issue. Yeah, I got this 3080 like, what, 3 or 4 years ago? 3 years ago? Well, my monitor KFC is 13, like, it's essentially like fake 4K. It's ultra wide, essentially. It's the Alienware OLED one, the ultra wide. I run it on 16:9 though for streams. Because naturally, you guys seeing ultra wide on a screen probably looks awful. Just like the biggest black bars ever. I cannot stress this enough. I don't know the color sphere on it. But like I cannot stress this enough. Like it is worthwhile to invest in OLED monitors. Don't get me wrong, they are expensive. But considering how expensive GPUs are nowadays, you will generally see a better return, I think, for visual fidelity on OLED than buying a better GPU for higher settings. And if you've ever played a game in ultra-wide before that supports it, oh man, playing a game in ultra-wide for the first time is amazing. Shut up, Blaze, you fucking CSGO zoomer. Fucking, I am so sorry, but if you're using a TN panel in the year of our Lord 2025, holy shit, your poor eyes. Yeah, QLED and OLED are getting cheaper, 100%, which is very nice because they are they are visually so amazing. But I know it, and I've had this monitor for like 3 or 4 years now, and like the biggest concern with OLED back in the day was burn-in. They have basically solved the burn-in problem. You still like they have, the monitor does do maintenance work on itself to do that, but like it's worth it. I don't have a sound bar, so I don't know. I've always played with headsets. I mean, literally though, if you want to like, if you're really looking for a low response time, yeah, go CRT. You're using a TN panel, Blaze. That's what you actually need, is an old CRTV. Back, I moved from a CRTV to like one of those like flat screen LED panels back in the day, and like I was so confused why games felt worse, and like I was playing awful. I was so genuinely confused. And then then I eventually learned decades later that yeah, back OG like LED monitors were fucking awful in regards to like response time in comparison to CRTVs. And so naturally everything felt like it had a delay. Because yeah, they're like the first generation of like flat screens for like, you know, 4x3 monitors for screen computers. They were so bad. I was so confused why I was so awful so quickly, because I thought like this monitor is newer, shouldn't it be better? Nope, more nuanced than that. Yeah, the capacitors, yeah, you'd be very careful. If you ever see a circular cylindrical object, and just don't touch it, basically. If you see one of those on a board, just don't touch that at all. Don't touch the entire thing at all. I had a few friends who, sorry, let me rephrase. A few associates, or like basically people I like worked with that did work on like audio equipment, and like that was always their biggest thing, right? Is you need to be very, very careful when you're dealing with electricity and boards like that, because a lot of them are unshielded, or just not like, they're not designed for you to be ignorant on how those work. Let's go over to Maskman. It's why your little power supplies say, "Don't fucking touch me." Get your hand away from here. We're doing stock guns today. All right, 308. Well, Blaze, if you can't find it, Blaze, just like start reaching around your desktop and then See if you can just feel it out. For extra context, me and Blaze are old friends, so I can tell him to do that. He understands not to do that. I'm not literally telling him to kill himself. All right, let's do some back trench. It's why you don't chew on old motherboards.
I hate the surface.
All right. God, that looks so metal. I am curious though, if like that's just always going to be a piece now, or is that gonna change depending upon the variant of the map you get eventually? Also, that looks cool too. I'm guessing that's supposed to be guns up there, but does look cool. I want to go in bunkers so bad. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, that's just how, yeah, that's just everything. Darkness and then effects.
Don't miss. Make every shot count.
There is a reason why, like, a lot of Twitch games and shooter games are bright and colorful and have great visual clarity and no dark spots ever. Makes for good streaming. This dark corner over here? Absolutely awful. Granted, I can't see anything either, so. Ah, yes. Some nice, friendly piles of bodies. They added more in here, too. They definitely got lost in the sauce here, adding just more bodies. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. I can probably tune it too, but at a certain point, it just like the amount of bit rate I would need to shove down YouTube's throat would just be untenable. No, Law, there's definitely more bodies now. 100% more bodies. Slurping sounds. Stop yelling, Masked Man. We're trying to be quiet here. Masked Man, calm down! Masked Man, calm down! Masked Man, calm down! Brother's got fucking anger issues. We kind of saw it there, but like I'm just ready for like us doing that against like an entire squad, and they just turn around and firing line us. Masked Man's got that massive short king energy. Just the good old short rage. Alright. It wasn't that many rounds. We don't need a barrel swap yet. I imagine so many barrels here too are just like absolutely shot out. I would not mind a Napoleon skin for Masked Man. I would not mind a skin for Masked Man that makes him even shorter. Yeah, just, I'm definitely feeling now that Masked Man's just full of unbridled rage. Yeah, we just need Dwarf Masked Man now. I will say, one of my fondest memories of Vermintide, right, is like picking the Dwarf in Vermintide, and like you're actually, your camera is shorter than everyone else's camera. It's so fucking funny going through the wheat fields and you're just like, I can't see shit. I mean, yeah, there's always that cycle, Bob, right? Victims become abusers themselves. It's learned behavior. The cycle of abuse. Hello, Mr. Drone. So Morkin, all you have to, well, we can actually, we'll do that for you. Hold on. I'll need to find some explosives first. But we can probably do that. Hello, Mr. Drone. Goodbye, Mr. Drone. How are we on meds? We're good. Did I just not kill you? Whatever. Alright, we need to find some explosives, which I'm sure we can find some, at least in the storage room. I'm surprised we don't have HKs yet, knock on wood. We've been doing lots of murdering recently. No, they didn't, Masked Man. Alright. There we go. Some lovely little explosives.
Just what I needed in my life. A reason.
Alright, so all you need to do to summon good old shield officer, Captain Chin, Mr. Chin, is do this over here. See radio tower. That I just can't help but feel would not be very effective. But anyway, I digress. Anyway. You just slot that in there. It blows up. And just give it about 20 seconds. Now the downside of this is this will make any future Mech Trench playthroughs not worthwhile. Because Captain Shin will be here now for the next 4 to 5 hours.
This is it. We decide what happens next.
There he is. Captain Chin. KFC. I would say your wording is very poor, but actually your wording's amazing. Alright, HUD's back to off. Hey, Captain Chin. What? No, come back. Captain Chin? But no, like, yeah, once he can't path to you, he just, like, runs off now. Oh, no, he's still jumping. Captain Chin? I imagine he probably should chill out now. Like, he'll spawn, and if he can't path to you, he goes to, like, his more idle spots. They'll probably come back eventually, but, like, he you know. That's like, that was basically the hotfix, is like, if he can't path to you, he'll just go to, like, a much more, like, idle location to wait.
That's it. We decide what happens next.
For real. He's got... Where can I get his jump packs? My god. Are you? I didn't free you, though. You can live. I actually don't know which way is Freedom Way. Yeah, y'all can live today. Wait, hold on here. Wait. Is that a sword? Wait, what the fuck is going on up there? Are they shooting harpoons? Is that like anti-trench? Let me reset my aim. Are we good? Okay. Yeah, I guess anti-mech deployment, or it almost looks like there's a counterweight.
Everyone for themselves.
All right, this is not one. Why the hands? That's definitely new. Like, I guess. Is that like, it looks like there's like freaking counterweight on it. Like, or like something? Is it, or it's attached to something there, right? Yeah. Like, my headspace goes immediately to, like, essentially the Europans are shooting javelins at Cyborg bombers. Could just be a radar. Okay, I will say too, it could just be a collapsed radar tower. It could just be like a weird collapsed thing over there that's not supposed to, it's supposed to be like actually vertical. Hold on, let's get a better angle of this. I'm busy. Okay, that's one over there too. Oh, so maybe that's a radar tower. It could, okay, no, actually, you know what it is? It is probably meant for, like, yeah, to stop things from, like, getting too close to the trench lines, I guess? Like, if they shoot mechs into the trench lines, I could probably, like, disrupt them, perhaps? That or, like, catch bombers flying too low also. I mean, the only problem is there's a lot of them, right? And they're along the side of the... That's weird, too. There's like a lift there. Like, that's the weird part, right? It seems like there's like a lift. So maybe it could be a radar tower, actually. It could double, too. There's so many, though. They could be radar tower plus defenses. Why would it have a lift, though, to change elevation if it's not a radar tower? And there's so many of them, so it feels redundant to have so many. Yeah. Very, very pointy radar. It's the dreaded 5Gs. I'm on ammo. I am not great on ammo. Oh god.
Tangos in the area.
EOD, save me. You can see him jumping around. EOD, no. Hey, Captain Chin. You a little stuck there?
I don't know. Spread out.
You a little stuck? KFC. I would imagine so. Well, at least on console. On PC, I can't do that for PC.
It's like Christmas.
Console, yes. PC, probably not.
How to open those presents.
That was a very eventful, run. We did not get the radar towers done, but all right, Bob, calm down there. Let's not get too political here. All right, what next? Let's do a sneaky time. And our backup will be an actual. Let's do APC9 Pro. I hate this gun so much. It's like the VKS of SMGs. It is just so utterly dog water. Please don't. But no, but AL, we're here for suffering, not for productivity. We'll run the PPSH next, but first my most hated SMG. But let's go ahead and get some quests up for Cemetery. Hey Blood, how's it going? It's always so fun when you just like forget some guns exist in this game and you're like, oh yeah, this exists, just like the VKS. Like I genuinely, hey, did you guys, well, there is, actually we'll bring a grenade in. Did you guys know there's a dodge feature in the game? That you can dodge in the game. Yes, it just really sucks. Wait, I didn't mean to spawn here. Oh god.
We keep what we
I'm really bad at picking my spawn points today. No, yeah, this is the dodge. Look at us go. We are speed.
Christmas.
Yeah, there's grenades. What the hell? Why is there a wall here? I missed. Interestingly enough, the actual, like, projectile is bugged with her. How does this gun have more recoil? Wait a second, wait, hold a goddamn second here. Wait a goddamn second, hold on. How? Wait, no, wait, hold on a fucking goddamn second here. How is this the one gun? How is this the one fucking gun in the game that feels like it actually has lined up bullet fucking muzzle to like projectile spawns? Pardon me? Sincerely, what the fuck? How are you going to make me like the APC-9 Pro? You absolute fiends. I can't believe you would do this to me. This gun actually feels good. Like, don't get me wrong, the actual initial jump is way too much, but like... out of all of the guns, it's probably not the case that it's actually lined up the projectile, or like the jump of the muzzle is not lined up with the projectile. That's probably not the case, but at least it feels that way, right? It does a great job with the illusion. What the hell? Now I suddenly like this gun. I also probably think it's probably its magazine size also. I mean, it's all smoke and mirrors, right? That's most games anyway. Most games are smoke and mirrors. It's 9mm.
Christmas.
I imagine though too, right? I imagine though too, right? A lot of it is just because it has a small magazine. Like, guns usually only get really bad when you do mouse one fire for a very long time. Can you just genuinely leave me alone? I guess it's a cultist he's thirsty for. Go, cultist, go. Murder your... This is my room now. No one's allowed inside except for me. And this broken door. No, they can't. No, no. We are the only ones blessed with the ability to open and close doors. It's what makes us scavengers. You see, like, back at the population centers, right? When you're getting conscripted into one of the militaries for the airsoft wars, when you show the ability to open and close doors, you are immediately put on the scavenger team. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't know, yeah, this is all airsoft here. None of this is real. This game is actually rated E for everyone. There's no violence. It's all airsoft. Oh, we're full. But we just leave. Okay. We probably need to drop a few of these too, so we can actually pick up the container or the quest item. Morgan, it does kind of draw the lines. Like, where do you draw the line between airsoft and LARPing, basically? Is it when someone puts on a grabber costume? What is going on? These fucking... The skull, man. Sorry for, like, the seizure, but it's the skull, it's not me. Alright, there's the book. Bob, they're just sleeping. Bob, they're just a method actor, okay? You just don't appreciate method acting. I don't think so, Michael. The chair has collision, but it's not as janky. Okay, God, these hands. That's 3, okay. The chair is not as janky as the rest, though. The skull gets really weird. The chair is just kind of a fun. This is the real power of UE5. Look. Cower at its splendor. Look at this. Look at us go. Little does that, like, so, for those unfamiliar with game development, this has been technology that's never been done before in games. The ability to have white chairs that move. In every other game that's ever existed so far, you've never been able to do this to chairs. Like, it's literally groundbreaking. Like, look how we interact with this chair. This has never been done before in the history of games. Anyway. Alright, moving on from the shitpost. Game Shift, you're asking for a UE6 feature. Sitting comes in UE6. My god, Michael. Oh, that sounds like a nice hobby where it can actually kill you.
We brought all this gun for you.
I would actually probably prefer the term manslaughter soft. For all of the manslaughter charges you're gonna get racked up by doing that game.
Just what I need.
Hold on, I'm reloading. Am I not bullets? Did I not break bullets? Alright, we're good. Hey, civilians, how's it going? For those unfamiliar, perhaps, just to explain also, I know I'm not sure they call it in Europe, they probably call it the same thing. Manslaughter is basically when you kill someone, but it's not as malicious as murder. John, actually, great point. We were testing with, there's voluntary and involuntary manslaughter. It's mainly accidents, yeah. It's accidents or it's plea dealed down to manslaughter. You will occasionally see like instances, Mr. Nooks, of like crimes of passion, which I believe crimes of passion are 3rd degree murder. I could be mistaken. It's either 2nd or 3rd degree. 1st degree murder has to be intent, right? Like you need to have show like planning and intent. Premeditated, basically. I think that's everything, right? We're probably missing a few. How many do I have? I need 2 more. Okay. I don't have bullets to deal with you guys. Oh well. Do I have mid still? I have idea. Actually, I have shotgun shells, actually. Just walk up and smack him in the face. All right. You guys can be free. I need 2 more. Surprised I haven't gotten all yet. There is one where we're going for the extract. All right, there's 4. That's a big one. We should be able to find one up here too. Doggo is currently locked in the sewer, having fun with some poor cultists. All right, there's 5. Well, time to get climbing.
By the skin of our teeth.
I wonder, so like if you've ever seen like people do climbing, right? Like long-term climbing, they'll actually like set up camping sites. Like they'll literally put themselves into the rock and just like sleep off the side of a rock, right? When they're climbing at like a side of a cliff or like a large mountain essentially. I wonder if they kind of feel, I wonder if they kind of do like that. Like there's so many pipes they're climbing through, right? It would naturally be exhausting. I wonder if they like have camping gear or like have checkpoints here and there where they like sleep on the side of a pipe essentially. Hey, sushi. All right, quests are done. All 3. Well, it's not even like you're sleeping in the pipe, KFC, but you're essentially attaching your camping stuff to the pipe. Well, hold on. Like this, for example, right? Like this guy is climbing this large vertical mountain or vertical face of a mountain, and like because the climb is so long, they have to rest during it. They'll literally attach themselves to, this is terrifying, by the way. They'll attach themselves to the mountain, like they just literally sleep on to pontoon on the side of a fucking mountain. It's absolutely fucking terrifying mentally to me. No rails, yeah, just I hope you don't roll off beds in the middle of the night. I'm sure they're like locked in too. Like, you know they're harnessed in. Like they're 100% harnessed in, but that's like considering like the loading screens and the tall pipes we see, right? You kind of feel like they're like if they're having to climb for like days or like like long hours, you have to rest, right? Your arms just cannot pull you up for that long period of time without rest and food. So like I imagine there's gonna be like either way stations or like their own camping equipment they'll use or just something like hammock to attach themselves to a pipe and like sleep or rest there, right? Cold War guns only? No, we're just doing default guns. We're doing guns that are we're doing stock guns essentially. We're not doing any mods on guns. Let's go back to Mass Effect for a bit. We've already done like an M16. We did the Dread 36. We're just gonna play around. We're doing all the guns. We can probably do all the guns in one sitting, to be honest. Heisenberg. Let's bring an extra shotgun just in case. Never heard of it actually, Sushi. Yeah, I think we're good. Let's do a scrapyard. I'm surprised they didn't put in the drum mag in for this gun. It's pretty iconic, right? The whole drum mag for the Pupasha. Alright, I wonder how you are with just the stock sights.
Don't miss. Make every shot count.
I am literally seeing the bullets. How are you so tanky?
Photo-resistant coat.
You are using 9mm. You can literally see the case ejection. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's how bullets work. Is that actually a thing? I don't think that's a thing, right? It's not supposed to eject that way, right? I actually don't know enough about the Pupasha. I don't think it's supposed to eject. It's a simple blowback gun, right? It's supposed to just normally eject to the right, right?
Don't miss. Every shot count.
Does it eject from the top? Is this the variant? Hold on. Oh, I can see it. Okay, I can see it. Yeah, I think I see the thing on top. Yeah, the ejector port on top. It feels like it's spawning.
Check those corners.
It feels like it's spawning a bit too far to the right then, right? Leave me alone. Like yeah, the ejection, the case, yeah, they're ejecting from the right, so they're just too far off to the right. Wait, what the hell? Wait, is the bullet ejection change? Wait, hold on here. Hold on. Guys, I'm busy. Hold on. Stop it, I'm busy. Leave me alone. Okay, so the ejection up, so but hold on, like look at the ejections now. So like
Everyone to themselves.
you can kind of see the where the bullets are ejecting from is changing. Ignore the hands. It's yeah, camera dependent ejection, yeah. I think that was from me ADSing mid reload. It like froze the end, like it froze it in like mid sinking, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, the ejection seems to depend on where you're looking at the time. Huh, interesting. And yeah, they're not pistol rounds, but that's I can forgive the not pistol rounds a bit more than the weird case ejection. Cursed PP gun, yes. Yes, indeed.
Hit for us.
We're doing great. We're like 1 magazine per kill. This is working fantastically. I hate this so much. Stop moving your hands like that.
Wheedle them.
Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Sir? Sir? Alright, well. Hi. Ow. Yep, that's a stagger. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, we're good there. All right, down you go. Nope, just weird hands again.
This is it. We decide what happens next.
All right, well. All right, good there. Let's do some sabotage too. There's 3 up here, right? There's 2 up here. Hey. Sir. Might be time to leave, actually. I'm getting really low on medkits. Sushi, it sounds like you have a death wish. There we go. Maybe, yeah. Maybe, what if all of these are just like actual like game logos or game studio logos? Alright, time to skedaddle. That was a solid kill, one-shot kill right there, yeah.
Whittle them down and we can
That worked out pretty well. Marathon moment, fuss, yeah, 100%. Dude, it sucked so hard for like the poor developers of that game who had no idea. Like you're just like, you know, you're just a developer doing your job, making a cool game, and like suddenly realize your entire art department or just like someone from your art department just like ripped off someone's entire art style.
remember.
And now you just have this like you're basically dead DOA. Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, right, it is on their management and, like, on the people in charge there who are, like, ultimately responsible for their employees and contractors to get their shit together. Well, it's more just Bell's, like, the negative PR you get because of, like, the players, right? It's also just... You have to keep in mind too, I would say Bell is also, it's really, really easy rage bait for people who want to push that narrative, right? Because like, you know it's true and it's easy to get like rage traction essentially. Essentially it's easy views, right? You make a video on Marathon plus them stealing art, you're gonna get some clicks. All right, Stairway, don't let me down. I know that's all you ever do, Stairway, but I believe in you today. This time, of all times, you will give me what I want, Stairway. You know what? Stairway, I believe in you so much. I believe in you so very much, Stairway. So very much. That I know that despite me bringing this, I won't have to use it because it will be a night shift. And naturally, I don't need to shoot on night shift, right? Because it's night shift. Why would I pray, Michael? Rat King, when has Rat King ever done anything for you? Rat King's a false prophet. God damn it. I will say, there's an easy solution. The call of the void, or I guess the call of a bunch of rebel and debris. It tempts me. You need the ability to drop guns in game. I know that you won't be able to do it, but like, you would just see me like throwing my VKSs in there. Hey, what the? Did someone just shoot me? What the hell? I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I used the VKs against fucking cyborgs. I'm sorry. Rod. You're open. Save me. Oh god.
Additional units approaching.
Oh, it's God. We're good. We're safe. Sort of, kind of. No. I'm so... You're very brave. It didn't even attack him. It literally just walked up to that soldier, and that soldier just... Where the hell did that come from? Where the hell did that come from? I need the comfort of my own dog now. Who's a good boy? Wait, hold. Wait a second here. Brother. I know we're in the end times. I know water's hard to come by, but you can still use like dirty, undrinkable water to clean your goddamn fucking legs. Mad. Shaman. Hygiene. You absolute fiend. Thanks, Starfur. I appreciate it. No, we're not gonna break the game. The sleeping pig. He's a gamer. Yeah, it's just the subtle insinuation that gamers just cannot clean themselves. Literally impossible. I feel like, Bob, you could go to Frozen Swamp, and sure, the water there is probably toxic, but only if you drink it. Like, what's the worst can happen? It's not gonna, wait, I mean, it's not gonna corrode your skin, right? Hey, maybe the heavy metals in the water will help your skin glow. Heisenberg. Thanks, Bells, by the way. All right. Oh no, I'm out of meds. All right. What map now? I guess we didn't finish Stairway. I brought 4 med kits and 3 of them are small ones. This will be great. Oh yeah, the TKB exists. I forgot about that one. Digman, I do hope to eventually... I do hope, Digman, that we do eventually see the characters you're not playing as currently idle in the innards. And then they have some, like, ancillary functions. It'd be nice if you get some, like, extra benefits for having, like, characters idle in your innards doing stuff for you.
More chances to assist them.
Rat King enthusiast now in shambles. I didn't pray to Rat King and got night shift.
Multiple contacts. Incoming.
God, they're moving so slow. I mean, okay, side note though. While I definitely do agree those bombers are moving too slow, if they are solar powered and they do have like these massive large wings, they do have very low stall speeds, if I understand correctly. So they like the plus of having giant wings and a small ass fuselage, like they can go really slow without stalling, essentially being like falling out of the sky. I still think they're moving too slow, but like they are, at least they feel like design wise that they can do that to some extent. Now, I know for right now, like naturally this game is going to be small, right? But like I would almost love like a game in this sort of vibe where like you were like really catastrophic weather events, right? Like hurricanes, like cyclones, like twisters, just really like insane, like natural like events. I don't think KFC they're carrying that many cyborgs. If like my video for the for the bombers, they don't carry that many. Like they don't carry that many. The fuselage for them is very small, and they almost assuredly do not carry cyborgs in their wings, because the jet engines, or like the small jet engines for the things, flank the fuselage. So there's really no way to move cyborgs between the wings and the fuselage itself, right? So like it's carrying probably maybe 100 cyborgs at most, I would think. And it could even be as small as like the one drop they do on maps being all the cyborgs they're carrying. It definitely feels like something that's gonna be based more on volume as opposed to like carrying capacity, right? They have lots of bombers as opposed to only a few that drop a lot. Oh god, they can climb. They learn how to climb. All right, I'm gonna low meds. I don't think 100 is like, I think 100 is way too much actually. The cyborg bombers are not that big. Oh no, Bells, the blood, they're alerting. I mean, game shit, that's not like, I would get mauled immediately. There ain't no way I win that fight. No, but the way I view it, right, I do think, like, I really do feel like the cyborg bombers, either, two things, right? Either they're deploying lots of them from Asia and then just sending them westward toward America. They drop their cyborgs and come back, or like they're going to some like facility in between Asia and here, and like they're picking up cyborgs from there and then getting sent back out. Whether that's in the sky or on a ship or on the like a island somewhere is one thing entirely, but I don't think they carry that many cyborgs. I think it's a volume thing. And like that's the perk of like having a solar powered bomber like that, right? Is they can just, you know, keep going. I mean, Morgan, yes or no, like it's hard to say canonically if they are or not. Like the iconography on the decals on units does allude to as such, but it's hard to say exactly if they have factories, right? Or if it's all just surplus from when they had factories in space, or it's just some weird decal they included that they probably should have removed. Probably not. They probably don't travel information, to be honest. There's not really any reason to. It doesn't seem like Europa has really any recourse to stop this. And they don't really have any defensive weaponry. Like, the reason why you would travel in a formation, right, is to, like, provide some benefit defensively against enemy units. Through, like, your own, like, you know, defensive fire. But there's not really any reason to when you don't have the means to do so. Yeah. It's actually better if you probably spread out, that's the case, right? I'm like absolutely dry meds, right? Yeah.
They are sending their best. We don't have much time.
You can't get up here. I get to enjoy the view. You can't stop me. There's more coming in. I can fix this.
We have to endure.
Stop. Leave me alone. Hold on. Right in the butt. All right. Now we get peace and quiet. Everyone's dead. Hey, yo. All right.
A couple dozen more in the ground. It won't make a difference.
Oh. Hi, Mom. Moms, ooh. Lots of moms. No, leave me alone. John. You fiends.
Footsteps. We need to reduce their numbers.
I would almost wholeheartedly just like entirely sign on and onboard myself to like a no alert symbol setting. Embracing the fact that like I would probably just suddenly get killed out of nowhere. Man, it is a little stuttery back here. Little frame droppy. Apparently 3 moms in one area just do not work well together.
Obliteration in walking form approaches.
Hi, Mom. It is brutal right now. I am like chugging. Hello, moms. Meet doorway.
They are sending their best. We don't have much time.
Just gonna sit down. You want to tell me about your day?
They are sending their best. We don't have much time. Tons of tangles in the area.
They're both just so bored waiting for me. You stand up immediately when I get out? Oh, getting up. No. So yeah, Jacob, when they can't path to you, they just sit. Like they're waiting for you to get out of your hidey hole.
Our main threat is closing the distance.
So they have like an AoE attack now, they have a jump attack, and now they have like have an idle animation basically that plays and they can't get to you. They just sit down and wait. FPS is chugging a little bit, yeah.
Hold on to this feeling.
Stairway is absolutely suffering a bit. It only got bad when we got up there too at the very top part. All right. Bye bye, nighttime stairway. We'll see you like next year. All right. Is it time to go destroy any chance of playing Mesa again today? I think it might be. Now, naturally, Painless is a stock gun, right? It's got no mods to it, so... And we'll bring, I guess, the Vepr too. We're gonna go for the rack. I actually haven't seen Eclipse Mason in forever, too. It's been a hot second. Alright, there's the rack. Let's bring some shotgun shells. We'll bring like 200. Oh, is that full? Maybe less than. Just 100 then. Talk to Heisenberg, get my meds. I don't think so. I think I'm not sure how much of it's like just because they're missing the ammo. I do think Painless having only 500 rounds is by design. I do not think it's accidental. Job? Man, if Job's been updated to like slur status, man, it's real bad out here. Sorry, Blood. I need to figure out what word you were asking about. Understood. The word job is a slur. Got it. Understood. I am on board. I already get canceled over here for saying the word yob. I said yob, I replaced the J with a Y. Alright, we're good here. I don't know, Bells. Like, 500 rounds of Painless does go through a lot of enemies, right? Like, is it that Painless has too much ammo, or is it that like all of the other guns have too much ammo? Like, if they ever nerf ammo across the board, Bells, Painless coming with 500 rounds might actually be a blessing. I had a job. No, I'm going to get like, the reason why I'm moving in a month is I'm going to get my master's. Nice, thanks. So we don't really need to do anything. We can loot around a bit. We don't really need to do much here. Hello. 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 Honestly, Game Shift, I do agree. Having like a large item ammo slot would be huge. And I do think, right, if you're ever trying to balance, like, right now, LMGs and regular assault rifles right now kind of occupy the same role. The only exception kind of being the SAW. So like, I definitely think like having almost like LMG backpack slot items would be a way of like balancing them, right? It also would just like look cool as shit, don't get me wrong. I imagine though, considering we still haven't seen the instances of pilots being inside exos. So I'm kind of curious if they just don't really have the expertise or bandwidth to do like syncing between different objects, right? I imagine it's very time consuming. Like having the pilot sync with the exo, having like the large item ammo slot be in the backpack syncing with all your movements. Because naturally you would think, right, you would have the chain link between the backpack item and the gun itself, and so you would need to accommodate that item being in any large item slot here, and then it having to intuitively just have it feed into the gun, and then work with looking around. Hey, stop that. Why is everything... Do I have HKs? Oh, I gotta have HKs, that's why. Curse you, pictures. I was wondering why everything's aggro to me right now. It's the fucking pictures. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I picked up 3 pictures, okay? Forgive me, or not. Fucking XO. I'm going around the other way. Yeah, Bells, I mean, that's definitely an element too. I think the main thing I would like to see Bells too, with the little quirk or extra perk we see on Shaman, I do want to see more of those on characters, right? I think that, like, for those unfamiliar, right, Shaman's got a few little small perks now that work into like scanning and scanners and just like general intel. And like they're all very small, insignificant perks by themselves, but like they add a lot of character just to Shaman, right? It makes him kind of the intel hacker guy, the guy who can provide you with information. Exo, no! Exo, no! Leave me alone! I just want to blow up a bridge! Curse you, pictures! Curse you! You pick up 3 pictures and suddenly they just hate you. Alright, let's run it back. This time, just a quick run. HMG. We don't need much here. Also, rip my meds. It's funny too because like the quest for the pictures on Mesa says it's a picture of this guy's wife who died in the war. So like my god. How thirsty can you be? Oh hey, cool.
If we get home without you, I'll tell you.
Because I don't have bigger meds right now, KFC. Hey Delta. Oh yes, the communal wife. And then just like leaving it in every available crate on Mesa, lurking. You just like, during the night shift, he just goes to the surface and starts placing all of his pictures of his wife back in the containers. While giggling.
As it ever was.
Are we good? We're good. No, no. Go away, cyborgs. There's nothing here. Apparently, yeah. Bye. Why are you going this way? You're making things so difficult. All right, everyone look at the eclipse real quick. This is very healthy for your eyes. It's not. Don't do that IRL. It's very bad for your eyes IRL. Do not look at the eclipse IRL. Well, you can just with glasses on.
We're on the clock.
I mean, all you guys send from other courage, but like, look at those glutes right there. What's that? What is this shit over here? What is going on? What did I walk in? I'm not watching this anymore. I'm leaving. What the fuck? This is a rated PG game, you fiends. Gonna need to cut that out of the stream.
Shred them fast so we can move on.
God, it's still going. Oh, I have an HK on me, that's why. Thanks, cyborgs.
You know the drill.
Oh, look at it come.
Together and stay alive.
The bomber, not yeah. Hold on. I mean, when I was saying that, I was looking at the bomber and talking about the bomber.
game faces, people.
It's a shoot, right? To help direct cyborgs down, so they don't get like all willy-nilly. Jesus. Oh god. This stream has now officially became cursed. It's probably been cursed for a while now, but now it's definitely cursed. Definitively cursed.
Let 'em fast, so we can move on.
Yeah, I hear you. You can't hurt me though. I got over 2k HP, I think. Yep, this is Mesa. This is the variant of Mesa, the Eclipse. Ooh, more bombers.
You know the drill.
Yeah.
Stick together and stay alive.
Well, thankfully the bridge is safety, so let's get to the bridge and we'll be fine. It's called a haircut. What I have in my head. Are you criticizing Bagman's Afro visor? I can't believe you would criticize that. What the hell is wrong with you? You don't appreciate style. Oh god. Alright, we won. Yeah, whenever you die as a character, you'll have some variants. So this one you need to place? I think it's this one, I guess. I think most characters usually have 2 or 3 variants. Some don't have any yet, I don't think. Well, Shaman has a skin right, I don't think he has a variant. Without HUD mode on, I can never tell where to place these. Is it usually? I think it's usually on the, not on this side though, alright? Yeah, it's over here.
That will save the day, that's for sure.
Alright, there's 2. Why would I blow up the bridge? Why would you not want to blow up the bridge? I definitely missed one of these already. Alright, that one's good. I missed the one over here at the very far end. It's not you, right? Yeah. Should be the one at the very end here, I think. It's so hard to tell without the HUD mode on. I will actually, blowing up the bridge in this game is actually like one of the only quantifiable things, or rather easily quantifiable benefits you can get. Okay, that's it. We need to run. Run, you slow ass bagman. We have 30 seconds. Is it actually insane to think that he might not make it because it's fucking Bagman? Oh, it doesn't trigger. It's a timer. I suddenly have regrets. No! We were so close! Okay, so the only character who cannot make it is Bagman. Any other character could make it. We were so close. If only had pneumatic jump. He died for the cause. The cause of blowing up a bridge. Go away quests. All right. M16 time, sure. M16, and why not? Sniper rifle too. And the better backpack. So us blowing up the bridge gives us basically a benefit or a modifier to maps. It doesn't affect every map in the game, but it does affect a few. There's no way we use all that. So if we go over to Scrapyard now, we can see infrastructure failure in Ashen Mesa, Cyborg units isolated. And so if we go play Scrapyard now, or no, just Michael, just in general too, not even on Extract, no Cyborg spawn at all in Scrapyard. I imagine it removes some tanks from some maps, KFC. Oh, this is huge too. So this is Night Shift also. So like, this would usually have plenty of cyborgs on it, but because we blew up the bridge, this map now no longer will spawn cyborgs. And so this Night Shift variant that we have will only ever have the grabber and maybe some brawlers. I mean, weirdly enough, like, this map is very easy to navigate once you don't have cyborgs anymore, right? I'm not sure if brawlers spawn that, like, I think they can spawn on this map, but I don't think they spawn consistently on this map. So we have the Angie dog, who's probably aggroing because of the extract mechanic. But like, other than that, right? Like, there's nothing going on here, right? Yep, at nighttime, Michael. They can spawn on nighttime. But like, this map is like now very zen. It's partially nighttime, but on nighttime too, so there'd be cyborgs here, except for the, you know, what we did, right? So they no longer spawn. So this map's like now just avoiding the grabber. I have. Railgun's fine. It's a nice reward for co-op that didn't really have any co-op like reasons before. Like, co-op in this game makes the game harder, so it's nice that co-op players have a reason to play co-op now. It does, I will say, make other maps like different too. For example, like, one of the downsides of this map is when you're fighting on the day variants, lots of cyborgs come from here and here. So like, knocking out that possibility is kind of nice. Hey, dog. Who's a good boy? Certainly not you. Certainly not you. You giant piece of shit. Yeah, it's like, it's all of the... Hold on. Oh, I think I put it right. Did I put it right there? Okay, yeah, it's there. And like, all of the modifiers, I think, do something along this lines. It's just that this is the most easily, like, showable, right? It's very easy to, like, do the bridge on Mesa and then show this happening. It is like the most easiest, or like most, like, it's the best example of cause and effect, right, in the game currently. And it's very easy to just show. I blow up bridge on Mesa and now know there's no longer cyborgs here. Ooh, that's nice to know, lurking. I didn't know that one myself, actually. And like, lots of small little things like that can make Lots of small little things like that can make maps feel much more like lived in / immersive, right? And like interconnected.
Threat removal imminent.
I guess that's just like the compensation for poor Shaman earlier, getting mauled out of nowhere. Nice. Did you get to see any behind the scenes art, Pan? Did you take any pictures?
Tasking.
I can tell you right now, so much of the audience for this game is so thirsty for just more art. Oh, I think you might be thinking of Rillo, not me. I've never been in contact with the artists of Fun Dog, so you're probably referring to Rillo. If my audience figured out I was withholding art from them, I think there would be pitchforks in chat. And I wouldn't blame them. Old man. Pistol time, 45. I can do art when it's like kit bash. I cannot draw for shit. I can do computer art kind of fine because it's not using my hands with finesse, but like when it comes to drawing, I am awful. Like okay, let me rephrase. I can sketch very well. Like I can provide like sketches, but I can't provide like thorough, like 100% complete art. If you want a straight line from me, it's never gonna happen. It's always gonna be like those little like sketch dashes. Graphic design is my passion. It's welcome to the misquote me stream, where we constantly misquote what I say. Anyway, all right, 308. I probably need more than 10 rounds. Just a hunch. All right, pistol. USP 45. This should be good. Medkits? Nice. Like, when it comes to art, I can do a good enough job, like, drawing a sketch to facilitate or, like, demonstrate what I'm trying to say. But when it comes to making that, like, a final finished product, never gonna happen. I will actually say, I'm much more into, like, the engineering style art, too. Like, back in, like, I think art in middle school, high school, like, when we did perspective, I actually really enjoyed doing, like, perspective art, right? Because it's a lot of, not math per se, but just angles. It's like, almost if you, like, combine engineering with art to some degree, right? I think we're good here, right? Just need quests. Pan, maybe. I feel like I do not, it would require a lot of work, which I don't think they have the bandwidth for. It'd be really cool if we ever got melee weapons in the game. Like, I think at the very most, Pan will see like an animation for bayonets, but I don't think we're ever gonna see like a very thorough melee system. But I definitely think they're gonna be adding bayonets to the game, or like facilitating a melee attack with the bayonet. I don't really want to kill Red Baron. Sure, cigarettes will work, and lost cash. Let me find some cigarettes real quick. I do think it's a crime, though, Pan, that we have a weapon with a bayonet on it, but we can't actually bayonet. What the fuck, Bob? Lurking 100%. I kind of feel like that's going to be the case, lurking, right? Where we... I do definitely think doing the modifiers right now does affect, like, the enemy percentages. My biggest thing is this, though. In a game like this, I really would prefer or like I'm gonna say this is almost, I would think, very hard to do and have it feel natural. I want what you're describing, lurking, to be felt and not quantified. I want you to, like, say, blow up a mech in mech trenches and feel like there's less mechs, not just know by some quantifiable number that there's less mechs, right? Like, it's easy to do on Scrapyard because it's so polarizing, having no cyborgs. So, like, that's essentially what I want to see. Like, right, I want to feel the changes, not see, like, the numbers change. The number changing on the screen, like the region screen, is nice, but I want to feel that percentage shift, right? I don't want to be told that, like, Eureska or Europa or Eurasia is winning or losing the war. I want to feel it on the maps. I have not heard the unsilenced the foul in the log. That's a good sound. That's a very solid. This is the shame of a silencer, right? It hides all these good ass fucking sounds. That is a very satisfying foul sound. Yeah, good in comparison to everything else, right? Yeah, Sleepy, it is by comparison, right? Would I say it's like the best gun sound I've ever heard? No, but like for what we currently have in the game, yes. Hey, stop that. Ooh. All right. Let's go give a poor sick guy some cigarettes. It really would, KFC. That's a very factual and true statement. The Grimdark and furry communities are always like at odds with each other. Oh, it does have a drum bag though, Sleepy. It's got a 50 rounder. We're not using a 50 rounder right now, but it does have a 50 rounder. You'd be surprised though, I will say. There does, like, you say they don't combine, but there just seems to be an overlap in their interests, right? Game shift, who the fuck knows at this point, man? Who genuinely knows? It's like, it's Bob Newman just like straddling the line of fan fiction. Where the fuck did you come from? Well, like Sleepy, what I'm kind of saying though, right, is that like in a lot of games or media that seems that like 40K enjoyers seem to enjoy, there also always seems to be this connection to the furry audience, right, that also seem to enjoy it. And so like it kind of, just because they like the same things, or like because there's overlap in their interests, they seem to have like a lot of confrontation because they naturally just clash all the time because of their combined like interests, right? Hey, think of it this way, right? Hey, what's up, Bells? Seriously, what? Really? I mean, there was that whole thing in Helldivers, right? Where Helldivers is kind of grimdark, and like there was a huge like issue with a bunch of grimdark enjoyers like clashing with furry enjoyers in Helldivers. That was a pretty big history moment in that Discord. And like I've never seen, like, don't get me wrong, there's always like there's lots of hate for furries, but like I've never seen like an individual group bash furries more than like the 40K crowd. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I'm just like, it's just more of an observational sort of thing, right? Where, like, it's never brought up more to me than people who seem to enjoy Grimdark and 40K. And it's just this weird observational thing, right? It's just like, it just seems to be like an overlap or just a weird quirk. Yeah, I mean, there's also the old thing too, right? Yeah, it's just observational, just weird and interesting, right? How that dynamic plays out. Well, what I'm kind of saying though, right, is that like it almost feels like there's like a clear overlap area between those communities that just has them clash whenever they kind of combine, right? Like Helldivers 2 is an example, right? Oh no, that's a very common trope, Game Shift, that artists are very thankful for the software dev for a community. Lots and lots of copious amounts of money. Where are you? Are you up here? Why am I blind suddenly? Oh, we're too far to the left. Thanks, Flatter. You'll find that I don't try and control, like, there are certain areas where I'll steer the conversation away, like politics, but for the most part, yeah, we tend to talk about a lot here. Yeah, don't discard for the debate. Wait, God. It's not brought up. This is like the first time we're actually discussing this in detail, and it's more just in the sense that like, it's just interesting to me observationally that just like, furries get a lot of like flack and hate, and I'm not arguing if they deserve it or not, but it's just more interesting in the fact that is like, I just see it come from a lot of 40K people. And that could just be the fact that I'm like, it could just be just the fact that I'm around those people quite a bit. So like naturally it's gonna seem that way to me. That's that one. Where's the other one? It's up here, right? Yeah, there you are. Super male vitality, what the hell? Yeah, exactly. They're like Dark Star. There just seems to be innate overlap, right?
Don't get boxed in. Spread out.
I guess you could just like, I guess in a way you could just almost like categorize it as like two. So blood, no job wars, but like you can just like satisfy it as like both two very enthusiastic segments of nerddom, I guess. All right, come here, you. Yeah, 40k is big. I mean, it is like the OG Grimdark, right? I heard a sudden like air pressure noise. I got really confused. Apparently, I guess someone was power washing outside. I was like, I thought I heard it in game. I was like, what the fuck is? Is there like a pressure release valve going on somewhere near me? Oh god. Exo no. Exo no. All right, I would like to safety, please. I ate my cigarettes. God damn it, game. I need to find new cigarettes. You know what? I'm upset now. Who can I punish for my eating of my cigarettes? Okay, that did not do what I was expecting to do. Understood. 5 cluster grenades do not kill Exo. Hey, Tiger. Alright, I need to find a poor soul I can conscript and give me his cigarettes. Or he can be in here. I mean, I know there's like lots of Euros in here, right? So probably. Hey, rude. All right, I need cigarettes for your friend. I said I need cigarettes for your friend. Yeah, Vicious, I mean, if that's your reservation, I'm not sure if it's ever gonna get to the point where the maps are gonna be that large. They essentially kind of have to figure out clever solutions to making like maps multi-raid. The core of the problem is this, right? They discuss this in Q&As, where like the issue isn't the size of the maps, it's the issue of like this being a co-op game, and they have to plan around the worst case scenarios of 4 players being in different spots of the map and having to make sure the game doesn't just stall out to that, right? So like that's gonna be always a limitation on maps, is like how can we make sure that with 4 players on the map with like, you know, lower to medium spec machines, it doesn't just fall apart. And I do think there's like clever solutions too. Unfortunately, weirdly enough, you know the thing that Starfield got absolutely slammed for? That's kind of what I probably think this game needs. It needs transition areas and loading screen areas, essentially ways to force players back together so they can either unload the previous map or just like essentially make sure performance-wise people aren't going to have a terrible time. it kind of needs Starfield's like really just not necessarily more doors macro, but it needs ways of coalescing players into areas and like having it be able to unload entire segments of the map or just load into a different map, right? So say for example, like if we have the giant, I mean, KFC, it's unacceptable for a AAA developer like Bethesda to have to do that. But when it's like a small indie team, it's much more okay in my opinion. But like, no. So like, imagine for example, there is like a bunker. Like, imagine like a giant bunker complex under Ashen Mesa. Like, you know, the bunker on Ashen Mesa. I imagine like a giant complex there, right? And it's probably not a full map in and of itself, but like, in order to go to that area, you need the entire team, right? Yeah, I mean, it's a give and take, right, Sleepy? You don't want to like go to like the absolute extreme, but you need to make sure your game's accessible to like accessible to like the core audience, right? Like Steam survey wise, you probably want to aim to like, at the absolute worst case, you want the middle specs, so like the actual like center of the bell curve, to be your lowest spec at the very worst, I would think. Because unfortunately, like, they are a business, right? They have to make money to fund development, and so if they make a niche game that no one buys, it might be a really cool game, but then they go out of business. So like, but no, like, going back to Ashen Mesa, right? Like, sort of making a, like, not a full-fledged map, but like a mini map, right? That you would connect to only Mesa, and you would go onto Mesa, you would go to a certain area that would like move you to or transition you to the underground bunker area on Mesa, and that would be like a multi-raid map, but the multi-raid element is because there's a mini map inside of Mesa itself that you go to. Little tippy taps. Look at the little tippy taps. This little excited guy. Yeah, essentially, there just needs to be a way of corralling players back together so that they can unload entire segments of the map. Because otherwise, they just, yeah, you at some point, and like, I know people are probably gonna say, right, the critique will be like, this feels forced. It's like, it has to be forced. Thanks, Squad, I appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed it.
All or nothing.
No, I don't feel safe here. Yep. No. I got really confused, and I was like, where the fuck's my hand? And then I forgot that we don't have a real hand on our left hand. It's not, it's prosthetic. I thought we had some like weird glitch where we was like, we're missing most of our hand or wrist on the left side. And I was like, oh no, if I grab, yeah, old man doesn't have an arm. What the? What is game? Okay, maybe we don't use that gun. I'm leaving. So what is, wait, what the? How did I make that bug happen? That's such a weird fucking bug. I don't know how I got my projectile to start like going so high. Maybe it's because I was like clipping, perhaps? Weird. Yeah, I was saying like maybe it's a cover macro. It was like the gun was clipping against the cover for some reason. Or like not the gun itself, but the actual like, yeah, something weird with that. So very weird. All right. Gifts? No, no. I get paid. All right. I think it's time for some Captain Chim. Do you even have the TKB? Let me go buy one. Hey Aramaki, how's it going? How would you like... What do I got for you? What do these sell for? Not much. Teddy bears? That did nothing. Lockboxes. There we go. And then TKB. Are you? What are you under? There you are. No. Ah, UI's bugged. Let's try that again. TKB. There we go. Alright, 5, 4, 5. Let's bring some grenades too, because why not? 15 grenades. I'm gonna blow up the world. Alright. Think we're good. Any quests? Sure. The good old trio. Alright. Vladder, it depends on the actual like the actual event. Probably not, no. I'm pretty part-time or casual streamer. I do 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for only like 3 hours. So it's pretty casual here.
On the road again.
Though maybe in the future, right? Like I'll start doing more stuff like that. But for right now, this is just gonna be what it is. The balance between this, YouTube, and then IRL stuff. This is just kind of a hobby of mine. Has that face always been there? Hey, Mr. Chid. Captain Chid. Oh no, Valter, you're good. I mean, I don't know. They're perfect. I don't mind you asking at all. HUD's back on. Oh well. I'll feel safe being in the open right now. I don't feel like that's always been there. Alright, while I'm here, I'm gonna turn it off again. Off you go. There's no reason to pray in this game. Praying does nothing. You freaking... You Rat King fanatics.
Shit ton of action down there. We should avoid it.
Where the fuck did you come from? Is that a sync kill? I don't think that's synced up properly. I don't think that's synced up properly. Thanks, Sleepy Pig. This is the downside for running a map after you summoned the guy, Mr. Chin. Maybe we just need to be stealthy. Let's go over to Scav Girl. Should have prayed to Rat King. So Blood, you're saying that what would have happened if I prayed to Rat King is when the animation started to kill me from Shield Officer, Rat King would have showed up, picked up the Shield Officer, and smacked him into the ground and saved me. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying Rat King would have literally showed up and saved me? Basically, yes. You have like what's it called? The Mystery Man mechanic from Fallout, but it's just Rat King instead. Oh, meds. Oh no. Alright, we get the EpiPens. We'll just do 12. Well, 12, yeah, sure, why not? Take 2. Yeah, it is quite miserable now when you summon a Shield Officer. You basically can't play the maps for 3 to 4 hours. It is so thoroughly brutal. Oh, this is nice.
Time to carve him up.
So yeah, here's like one of the blades too, right? We saw on the like edges here. This thing right here. So like it looks like kind of like an antenna, I guess. Like half antennas, like half like skewer device. It's very weird.
You feel the ground shake? They're on their way.
Calm down, Scav Girl. Oh, okay, you did? Okay. So it is for like air raid mechs. Oh god, where the hell did you guys come from? Just gonna close this door. Turn off HUD again. Perfect. Where were we? No, no.
Christmas.
Just gonna turn you off real quick. Good night, sweet prince. Don't mind me, guys. Hopscotch. Should have prayed. All right, maybe we stop running Mech Trench right now. maybe we don't play Mech Trench. Maybe we just leave Mech Trench to where it is right now. So what happened is that the commander has an AoE attack, and he essentially AoE attacked on the other side of a door or wall and killed us through the door / wall. So maybe we just leave Mech Trench where it is right now. I'll do some Scorched. Maybe we just leave Mech Trench alone. Potentially KVP, yeah. I mean, like, yeah. It needs time to cook, for sure. Alright, let's go back to Old Man here.
Let's do the equipment runner, actually. I don't think it will, KFC. They do, considering their early access page says they want to be out in a year, and that was in September of last year. I do think, like, they're going to be pushed to go to live eventually, right? Because they don't have infinite cash. No one does. Eventually you are pushed to go live or abandon the project, but like when you're self-published, right, there's no reason not to push it to live, right? You're not trying to save any reputation, because if you're going bankrupt, you're going bankrupt anyway. Oh yeah, we're going for sure, why not? Like, for a big company like EA, it makes some sense to like maybe can or bin a bad game because it would hurt your reputation or hurt your bottom line. It might actually cost you money to ship it out. But for a small indie studio, right, like if you know like you're gonna be defunct in like a month or two, like why not just throw it out there and see what happens? Close enough. Let's get some 20 mil too. 20 mil. And then we did a jump. Entry point, cemetery, thank you. It is a soft launch yet too, right? It does help get them funding. Yeah, 100%, like games take a long time to develop too. And like the key thing also, right, is that like it's so important for the base foundation to be very thorough and well done. And that can take lots of time and iterations.
Time to dive another dumpster.
Alright, everything spawned. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't like No Man's Sky, but they definitely did redeem themselves. No. Alright, Commander.
Way too high. Low.
I think I'm shooting high. Oh, I'm probably not waiting for the reset. I need to wait for the reset. I was shooting too quickly. Morkan, next live stream or next Q&A, Morkan, you're gonna see like Miles just like wearing like thousands and thousands of dollars of jewelry. This didn't age well. All right, I need to find Pyro if he's still alive. Aw, poor guy. Got smushed. So he's probably gonna be over here, I imagine. I didn't see him in the center at all. Alright, let's go find Pyro. Yeah, Mel's great. Alright. A flying tank near me. Not yet. Are you one? You are not one. Toothy, go away. Who are you shooting? Wait, is that Pyro? No, just bodyguards. See you, Michael. Okay, here's the thing. I wanted so much to like Death Stranding. I just couldn't. And it's not because it's bad per se. It's just I just couldn't get into it. I tried. I gave it every effort I possibly could to get into Death Stranding. I just couldn't do it. I would say it's not necessarily the pace, but it's too sandboxy. At least the early to mid game, right, felt way too sandboxy. And I've never been one that really has enjoyed sandbox style of games. I do prefer much more of like, I really like Stalker 1. I think Stalker 1 is like one of the best paced games ever. I don't think it was intentional, but I do think Stalker 1 was like one of the best paced games ever made. And in a way, it does ask you to pace yourself, but it structures the game in such a way where it does really feel paced well. I probably will macro. No idea when it's coming out, but I will give it a solid try.
No win, fight ahead.
I do think Arc Raiders is definitely worthy of like seeing if it can figure out the PvP dilemma or issues. Ow, I'm sorry, I apologize. Please stop shooting me in the face, please. Do I have meds up? Do I have meds? Oh. I do not feel very safe. Where'd that go? Did I just kill myself? God damn it. Hey, Jacob. See Jacob. I've heard good things about Arc Raiders. That's always going to be the issue, Blood Panda, is I don't think really any company I don't even think, even big companies, right, I don't think will ever prioritize it. I do not think they're going to be able to solve the cheating issue. I would be so thoroughly, and it's such a big issue with games like that. Yeah, I would say like the package carrying mechanics in Death Stranding were very interesting and cool. The only it was more about the environments, right? I would say on a whole, and the problem is it fits canonically with the lore, right? With everything getting like wiped out consistently in Death Stranding, my understanding. The problem is like it had just the environmental art in Death Stranding just didn't really do it for me. And naturally, I'm referring to the early game. I never got really past the first and second area. Like I beat the first boss, got to the second area, and then just kind of petered out for me. So like there's a very good chance I just missed a lot of the cool areas, but it didn't get me bought into its story and art quick enough, really. But I gave it such a solid effort, I felt like. There's some swamp. I haven't done swamp in a while. I would look for the Rickroll, or I would check the calendar to see if it's April 1st. Considering Valve is working on Deadlock right now, I don't think I don't see it coming. Valve's working on Deadlock and Counter-Strike. I don't think they're working on an individual. They might be, but they might be working on something in the Half-Life lore, but I just don't see them doing Half-Life 3. Well, I mean, we'll see. I have no problems being wrong because I would be elated if I was. I didn't really like Deadlock either. I mean, it's fine for someone looking for a competitive game, but I don't think it's anything. It's just a mishmash. Yeah, mismatch. it doesn't do anything. Like, it was fun for a bit, but like, it doesn't really introduce anything novel. It's like the classic like Blizzard thing, right? Where they just like come up with like a mishmash of genres and then like make it well polished. It's a great game for people who probably want a competitive game that's going to be well supported by Valve, but like, But like I am like well outside of the demographic of like what Valve is trying to appeal to with a game like that. All right, that should be plenty. Shotgun. Let's go. We haven't used the use that yet today. I mean, Marcus, maybe. I would say that like if they ever do armor Marcus, I would not expect more than just like units having some degree of mitigation versus smaller rounds, right? I don't think it's gonna be like an armor play system or like armor system like you can equip like Tarkov. It would just at the most be like, you know, cyborgs have level 1 armor, meaning that they mitigate damage against these calibers, right? That I would not expect any more than that in the game. Now, that being said, like weak points are a thing too, but like, yeah. I would not expect a very granular or very deep armor system, but just one to provide a bit of nuance on what guns are good and what guns you bring to certain fights. All right, frozen swamp regions, entry point, railroad tracks, and we're good. Oh, that's interesting. You know it later. I will say, I actually am very interested now. They have been cooking on the hardware front for a while. We might see an announcement about the Index 2. Apparently, they've had some patents in the last few years that looked like to be hardware related. So we might be seeing the Index 2.
Too old for this shit.
And I will save later though. If they're announcing a new piece of hardware like the Index 2, Valve will announce a game for it. Valve has always done that. Whenever Valve does a hardware release, they always include a game that was custom tailored or developed in synchronicity with that hardware. Yeah, Marcus, in regards to like visual aesthetic things, they mentioned that like the only really thing they're gonna be able to do is like baubles and trinkets as opposed to like full visual overhauls, right? Like they don't really have the bandwidth or means right now of doing like dynamic equipment swapping, like swapping and stuff like that. I honestly am not sure if it would be Alex 2 KFC, but like something along that vein, right? It could be a new Steam Deck too. Leverage 2? I think it depends. Like, okay, so I will say this, KVP. If you're looking for an interesting game with lots of depth and like a story, I would say, like, yeah, Helldivers 2 is probably lackluster. If you're just looking for a cool game with a very solid foundation, just to like shoot the shit in and kill some stuff with your friends and not think about it all that much, it's great. But like, it's not a game that's going to make you feel like, give you a lot of, it's not like it's going to make you feel complete, right? It's kind of like junk food, but like really well done junk food. It's not a game that's going to like let you make you think a lot, but like sometimes you don't really want to think a lot. You just like want a cinematic experience, right? Sort of like this way, right? It's I mean, you can play Helldivers 2 solo. it's like when you go to the movies, right? Do you always want to see an action movie? Not always, right? And like an action movie isn't going to make you always think, right? It's just going to be like popcorn food, like popcorn movie, right? You go to the movie to see a spectacle. But like there's also films too, right? They're supposed to be, you know, artistic and like actually provoke some thought and be less about just like the visual presentation, but more of the whole ensemble. I mean, KVP, if you're gonna, live service games have to monetize, right? You have to, like, the developers, they can't perpetually keep producing content for the game for free. So like, in the grand scheme of monetizations, like, in the grand schemes of predatory monetization, super credits are probably one of the most consumer-friendly versions of it, right? It is a piece of content that you can just find and get in game from playing. I would agree with you if it wasn't attainable in game, but just from playing the game, you can literally get the means of getting those packs. In the grand schemes of monetization, I would say, I mean, at that point, right, like, it just depends. Like, if your point is SC farming is like, or S, like, super credits, right, is not... KVB, I will say this, though. I will agree with you on one point. As time progresses and more of those war bonds come out, I do think it creates kind of this black hole, right? Where I do agree with you. I think at a certain point they need a discount or like have older war bonds come out for free. I do think that like it needs to not be like a Stellaris scenario where like a year or two later you have a, like, you know, 20-30 war bonds and like it's asking you to spend, you know, all of this money to get old content. I do think like maybe a year, maybe like I would say a year is a good time frame, right? Of like they should probably like start, you know, giving out some of the older war bonds for free, or maybe as part of like buying the game, right? Because like that like literally is an issue with Stellaris, right? Like Stellaris has so many DLCs now where it's like buying the DLCs for the game would cost you like 30-40 times the cost of the base game. It's ridiculous. And like individually, those DLCs at the time don't seem bad, but they add up so very quickly when you're like thinking about getting into the game and you're like, holy shit, what the hell? But no, I mean, I think in the grand scheme of things, for a live service game, I find their monetization very friendly, but I will agree with you that like there is the issue that's prevalent in all like this kind of monetization where they start accruing all of this backlog and it makes it very unapproachable to newer players or players coming in who do not play a lot, right? They used to keep accruing more and more debt. Yeah, Darktide's great, Vermintide's great. Yeah, I kept thinking about pulling the trigger on a Valid, but I kept hearing it was pretty generic. So I just never pulled the trigger. You're not even aggroed! Leave me alone! Now you're aggroed. Is the chopper still up here? It is not. Is it? It's collision block still here. Okay, it's not. Perfect. See, that's cool. I wonder, okay. So for those who do not know, there is the possibility of seeing a chopper up here that you can blow up. So I'm guessing that might be dependent upon the actual percentage of your Ruska owning the territory, which is super neat. I will say though, like, I mentioned it just in time, right? We'll see more trinkets and baubles showing a maps under a certain faction's control. Come on, meds. I'm getting meds. Okay. Yeah, I will say, in the grand scheme of things, the base scar does feel perfectly fine. Now, it doesn't really, it punishes you greatly for missing shots, but as long as, like, you're willing to be patient, it feels pretty good. Like, it's definitely one of those guns, right, where it feels like how it looks lines up very well with how it feels. All right, that's done. Probably time to leave.
Tango's engaging us.
Yeah, KFC man. What is more peak with modern day corporations than announcing some cool title everyone wants and then immediately making everyone feel bad about it by some just shitty CEO or suit, right? Oh man, it's so fucking peak. See, that's a normal stealth kill, right? Nice, quick, succinct. Not going to be like immediately firing squatted by the entire your open army. All right, we're good there. Rod drill's right. All right, dead. Oh man, the build vibes, yeah. And Left 4 Dead was great. Maybe they're gonna announce Left 4 Dead 3. Oh, that would be interesting actually, considering all of the tropes of like zombie games were like definitely like one of the most pushed sort of VR games for the longest time. Valve Gaming Goes announced the new, like, you know, Index 2 headset, and then announces Left 4 Dead 3 that has VR plus player support, so it has both. Mind blown. I think that's like I will say though, that's probably like the big factor, like, or a big jump that needs to be made. Support between both like people who want to play in VR and people who don't, right?
Carry the fire.
And naturally, like, you can't really balance a lot of games around that, but if you were going to have any game that could, I definitely think it would be like a co-op shooter game, right? Like a Left 4 Dead. And once again, this is just a pipe dream, but it is an interesting thought. It is very scared of the number 3. They'll call it Left 4 Dead VR just to get around it. No, they're gonna buy Turtle Rock and they're gonna call it Back for Blood, Was it Back from Blood? Back from Blood? Ah, yes, the power of the people. Negatively reviewing old games for current. Left 4 Dead, Alex. Dude, oh man, a new orange box would be so... I don't believe they could, but if they ever did, a new orange box would be insane. The original orange, like, it's insane to think how, like, much value the original orange box gave people. Yeah, that is the big problem though, Blood, with what games? 3 games they haven't announced yet, because Valve is a very big company that can support development of that many games at the same time. I don't feel safe. Portal 3, I could definitely see that being the case. Portal's a very beloved franchise, you said, right? I could see Portal 3 being a thing. I don't think Portal 3 would be VR support though, right? Because Portal 3, or Portal in general, would make me so noxious in VR. Counter-Strike 3. CS2's been like, it's like a year and a half or 2 years old. They just immediately can it for CS3. Oh, that would be fucking so funny. The only problem later is like, I just cannot see Valve having enough dev teams to be doing all of that. Oh, Artifact 2. Oh, yeah. I actually think Artifact would have been pretty well received if they just weren't so draconian on the initial, like, playing the game, right? It was just so... They asked for so much too early. I think, well, Valve is not that big in the grand scheme of things. I don't know. I have KVP. I have no idea because, like, if they're actually trying to come out this year, right? Are they going to be doing a lot of post content patches or just like opening up mod support? Or it's hard to exactly say if it's actually going to be 3 years in development or they're going to like start winding down after pushing it out this year. It's very hard to say, and I do not know. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I will be back on Monday. Enjoy Summer Game Fest. Hopefully, some cool games coming out. We'll see if Arc Raiders drops soon. I'll be doing that. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it. Other than that, later in the month, I might be doing some Broken Arrow. Very cool RTS game, but that will be off normal streaming schedule. But we'll see then. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys Monday. Take it easy. Good weekend, and bye all.